Hey everyone, it's Stephanie with Glittertumbler. Today we are going to do a peekaboo tutorial from start to finish. So let's get to looking at what our supplies are. Okay guys, so for your supplies you're going to need a sand and prepped cup. Mine is spray painted with white Krylon spray paint. It's been sanded. I'm going to be using the Mod Podge method to lay down my glitter. So I'm going to be using Mod Podge, and this is the glossy finish. Whatever Mod Podge you decide to use, it's fine. Brushes so that you can apply your Mod Podge, and I'm actually going to be using paint so that I can get a color that's close to my base of the glitter that I'm using. So you can use spray paint if you want to avoid this step, but I didn't have green spray paint, so I'm gonna go ahead and just lay this acrylic green onto the cup before I actually go on with that. So and then I have this little silicone bowl so that I can put my acrylic paint and I can just clean this off and save it for later. Glitters are going to be glitter choices of your own. Again, I'm going to be doing a peekaboo. So my base is going to be Goblin from our shop, and that's Glittertumbler. That's GLITTAFUL.com, and I'll have that in the description bar. This is Goblin. And I'm going to be using a GG custom mix, which is Sunshine for the top. So stay tuned. All right, so I am going to go ahead and get my cup painted with acrylic paint, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, so I was gonna go ahead and paint the cup without being on video, but I figured, hey, we have some newbies on our channel, and so some of you all wanna know how to paint the cup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that on camera. So I'm just pouring my acrylic paint. You can do this into a plastic cup. I like to reuse everything that I can. So this silicone bowl can be cleaned off and then you're good. So that's why I'm using this. I'm gonna be using a brush. And this one, I actually don't like how this is laying. I'm gonna use this foam brush that I have here, and I'm just giving this a base. Nothing crazy. I don't really care about the coverage. I just wanted it to be a little, I wanted the base color to be as close to the green or like the pigment of the color that I'm using, because it allows for the color of the glitter to pop more. So this is why whenever you're choosing a base for your cups, the color is very important, because whatever color you choose for the base is what and how it affects the vibrancy of your glitter color. This one actually is, I bought it for my son, one of my son's cups, and it's a glow in the dark. So I'm actually curious to see if the glow in the dark will kind of peer through. I'm doubtful because it'll be covered with glitter, but I figured, hey, it's green, it'll do the trick. And I bought this at Walmart for like 50 cents, I think. I buy all my acrylic paints from Walmart. It's cheap, they dry quickly. All right. And like I said, I didn't care that it's not the exact green. I just want a little bit of that green pigment. I didn't want it to be white, because if it was white, I mean, it wasn't gonna look bad if it was white, but I just wanted, again, I wanted the pigment of the green to be more what stands out, and I didn't want the white to dull out any of the vibrancy of the color, or to peer through, I should say, not, dull it, because you can't dull glitter, but I didn't want it to peer through. I didn't want the white to peer through. Right. And you keep just laying that on there until you're happy with it. I think I want to add a little bit more just to kind of get more of the green. It's a little light, and I'm assuming that's because of the glow in the dark. That it's glow in the dark, and it's more of like a lime green instead of like a hunter green or a dark green. Sorry guys, I had a little bit of a tough week. I caught a mid or a before summer cold. Jeez Louise, I've been out for the count. And this stuff dries like super quick, guys. So I would say you let this sit for 10 minutes and bam, you're done. And then you can start applying the glitter. So I think this is as green as I'm gonna get it. Nothing else I can do to it. And so I'm just gonna make sure that I don't have any like crazy edges. And bam, I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll be right back to add the Mod Podge and our glitter. All right. All right guys, so I let my acrylic paint dry on my tumbler, and it was like 10 minutes. If you want to speed up the process, use a heating tool, your heating gun or your heating fan, just put it up close, rotate it, and it'll dry. It's super quick. I just, you know, made myself some coffee and came back. I grabbed a piece of paper so that I can capture all my glitter once I'm ready to start pouring. I've cleaned off my silicone bowl so that I can have a place for my Mod Podge. And let's go ahead and let's pour some in here. I always use my 1 3/4, I believe. No, 1 1/4 wide brush, and I bought this from Michael's. It's my lifesaver. I absolutely love it. Okay, and I pour a good fair amount because I can always go ahead and pour it back into my container. And I have goblin set up. So if you have, if you've done tumblers before, then you already know how to do this. For those of you that have not, Mod Podge, you have to work quickly. It dries very fast. So you want to make sure that you're applying a lot onto your tumbler and moving and spreading it across your cup as quickly as possible. Now, once you're done spreading the glue all around, you want to make sure that you have even strokes around the cup. You never want to leave like a, let's see if you can get that. It's like something like this, because it is going to lift with the glitter and it's not going to lay flat. So you're going to have like a bump or a ridge on your cup, and that is not going to go away. You're not going to be able to disguise that. It is not going to lay smooth and you're not going to like it. So make sure that you have very nice strokes. Don't forget to get your bottom, unless you tape off the bottom. I don't. I always put my decal or my logo at the bottom. It also has my care instructions. So I always have my bottom covered as well. All right, I think I have enough. And because this is all just one color, I'm not going to use my makeshift shakers. For those of you that have watched my previous videos, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour directly from the bag. And I start like this, going layer across, and I pour onto the cup all around, and then I tilt and let that fall. Okay, and I move back up. Okay, and you move along just like that, and you want to move fast because your Mod Podge will dry. And I try not to be so messy. And get everything onto my paper so that I can, it's a quick and easy. I absolutely love the vibrancy of Goblin. It's such a pretty green. All right, so I'm actually going to need, I'm gonna grab a second piece of paper so that I just use it directly from the paper itself and I don't have to worry about finagling it back into the bag. So let's do this. And there's some places that you're not going to be able to get like all the coverage. And so this is why with the Mod Podge method, it's almost a must for doing 2 to 3 coats of Mod Podge over this. I always just do 2 unless like it's like a super dark color, or actually no, more like a super light color that needs more coverage. I typically do 2. 2 always seems to be fine, but you be the judge of that. Like if you feel like you need more, then do more coats. But I typically, I love the epoxy method because I don't have to do so many layers. I don't have to, I call it waste my glitter. But with Mod Podge, you always have to do, you know, one more layer. Nothing crazy. See, take a look. I couldn't get the bottom, so this is why I'll have to do a second coverage, a separate coat. And then there's some areas right at the top here, not the tape, right there at the top that we'll need to get. So we're gonna let this dry. So you give this about 10-15 minutes, go pour yourself some coffee, and then we'll come back, we'll add more Mod Podge over this, and then we'll add more glitter. So if you're still watching this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to our channel so that you can see more of our tutorials, and we'll be right back, okay? Okay guys, so I let my cup dry and I am going to go ahead and grab my Mod Podge. And I'm doing the same thing. I am very lightly adding more Mod Podge to the top of my glitter. And why I say lightly is because you don't want to shift your glitter too much because it should have adhered to your cup, but sometimes it still moves around a little bit and you don't want to get clumpy areas, and that can happen if you're not like soft with your brush, okay? So just very lightly, as you guys can probably see, super light. I'm putting absolutely almost no pressure at all. And you're gonna go all around. Now, some of you guys, if you've I just wanted to share a trick actually. If you don't want to wait the whole, 10-15 minutes and you're just like, I just want to get this done like yesterday, because a peekaboo can take a couple days to fully complete, and a good 2 to 3 days actually. Well, more than that if you're letting it dry properly. So, and you should be. But the design itself can take 2 to 3 days, not including the drying process. So the trick to letting this dry, like the Mod Podge dry, I typically will grab my heating tool if I'm like in a rush to get this done. I will grab my heating gun and I will put it at the lowest setting and I will move side to side with the heating tool on my cup, you know, a couple of inches away, nothing crazy, like no direct heat, but just enough to get the cup starting to dry. And it speeds up the process. Like I think it's like, you know, 3 to 5 minutes that you're doing that tops. It shouldn't be a lot because you saw we don't use a lot of Mod Podge. And even though this looks like fully covered, this is not a lot of Mod Podge. You're not using a ton. So you can definitely do that, and that will speed up the process. You can put it really close to your heat fan if you have one. That works too. But a heating tool, a heat gun, do that. If you don't have time, if you're like me, you know, I'm a mama of 4, I don't have the time. And when nap time's coming to a close, I will definitely do that. All right, well, if you guys remember, I didn't have much glitter at the bottom, so I'm gonna start there first. I'm gonna grab my paper. And let's see, I wanna make sure that you guys see that. Oops. And I'm gonna make sure, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring. And I wanna focus on those areas that didn't have much coverage. So my top and my bottom was the one that had more of the coverage issue. I'm gonna shake this to the side and around. And again, guys, we have to move fast with Mod Podge. It will dry on you. It will give you uneven coats. Like, you want to make sure that you're moving quickly. I've used Goblin so much. I absolutely love, like, I think I've said this at the beginning, I love, love, love the shine on this. And I just dropped it all over. Wonderful. No biggie. We can get that cleaned. How awesome is that? Look. And you can pour it at an angle if it helps you with, let's see if I can move this over a little bit. Making so much of a mess, guys. If it helps you with the pour. See, look at that. And it just helps kind of come down at an angle. I'm just so used to doing it like across, so. But yeah, but if you do it at an angle, it will pour out a little bit easier and it will pour downwards or upwards, however it is that you're pointing it, and it'll give it more coverage so you're not using as much, you're not having to, you know, keep picking up the two papers back and forth. All right, and I'm gonna go right there. I have, make sure I have this fully covered. I'm gonna shake, I'm gonna pat the wand, make it move. Look at that. All right, So now what we are going to do is we are going, and I forgot to mention this, but we're going to need a triple thick spray, and we're going to spray this with triple thick. So it is a spray adhesive so that it can hold these glitters into place and it's ready for epoxy. So that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do now. And then we are going to let this entirely dry, the Mod Podge, the spray adhesive, all let this dry. 30 minutes, guys. Don't rush this part. 30 minutes, let this fully set and fully dry, and then we'll be back to lay the epoxy down. Okay guys, so this part is pretty simple. I have whooped up a 30 mLs of epoxy, and I have my cup on the turner. I let this dry for 30 minutes. It's dry to the touch. I have my silicone brush. If you don't have one, these are available on our website. And I have my nitrile gloves just to keep my hands safe, okay? I do have a silicone mat underneath in the event that I drop any epoxy or my cup falls or whatever the case is. It's a protective layer, and it's easy. Once the epoxy is dried, it comes right off. Okay, and guys, if you've already started watching this far, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel, okay? Click that notification bell to see when we upload next, okay? All right, so this part, like any others, I'm just gonna go ahead and start laying the epoxy down. I'm using my brush as a helping, as a guide. And I wanna get this fully covered. All right, and you just want to keep moving that epoxy around. Moving it, you're going to have some areas where it stays a little bit more. So just move it around. Now, you'll probably need another coat after this one dries, because it will probably still be a little bit rough, and you need, for any peekaboo method, you need your cup to be smooth, and I'll be able to show you why, but a quick explanation is because after we're done with this, we're going to spray paint it again to cover it up after we're done laying our decals and things like that. And I'll be able to, I'm gonna walk you through each step. And this is why I'm showing you guys this tedious part, because it's important for you guys to see every step in order to do it properly, okay? So you want to get this fully covered. And you guys get the idea, so I'm going to speed you guys up, and then I will meet you once I'm done fully covered, and we'll talk a little bit what to expect, okay? Guys, so we're back. I have fully covered the cup with epoxy. I can't get over this green. Like, the shine is amazing. So one last step for this, we're going to hit this with our heating gun. I use the Wagner. I don't know if you can see that. Wagner. It has the two settings, the two heat options. I'm gonna go ahead and use on the lowest setting. And I'm gonna move this side to side, making sure I don't have any like micro bubbles or bubbles in my epoxy. This hitting the epoxy with the heat gun like burst all these bubbles. So it's really important that you have some sort of heating tool, a heating gun, so that you can do this. I also always have a heat fan in the room to keep the temperature at least 80 degrees so that my epoxy can cure evenly and nicely. So I'll go ahead and do this, never directly in one spot, always side to side, okay? So I want to do that until I see like no grayish areas. Sometimes I'll notice that I'll have like the epoxy maybe accumulated in an area with like little bubbles, and there's no way that you can get away from micro bubbles. You can stir at turtle speed, and that will not help you. Micro bubbles are something that you cannot get away from, and it's very unfortunate, but you can do what you can, like this, which is hit it with the heating tool or a torch so that you can get your micro bubbles out. I don't use a torch. I don't like it. I don't feel like I have much control, so I use a heating tool. I love this. It has the 2 settings. I can go higher if I want to hit it with a little bit more heat, or low, and it just helps my process. Now, again, for those of you that missed it, I used 30 mLs on my 30-ounce Ozark. I just like the way it covers it better. Some people use less. I like to use a little bit more. I may need a second coat. I'm more than positive that I'll give it to the cup. Guys, I cannot get over this goblin shine. It's amazing. Look at that. Look at that sparkle. I'm almost sad that I'm going to cover this. All right. And I think I'm good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Oops. So I'm going to hit the bottom for a second here. Nice. Okay. So we're going to let this dry 4 to 6 hours. You're letting this spin 4 to 6 hours, and we'll be back. Okay? Okay, guys, so I have let this cup turn for 6 hours, and then I let it hang dry for the remainder of the night. So I would say I gave it a good 12 hours alone. The cup is in beautiful condition. It doesn't have any like holes or anything, like any oil leaks. And it's perfect. However, it does need a second coat because there is some places where there's a little bit of a kind of like a rough spot where you can feel the glitter, and that's completely normal. This is why you should always do a second coat. You will have people that tell you, oh, don't worry about it, just go ahead and sand it down. I don't take the chance with sanding on just the first coat, because if you have maybe a thinner part of the epoxy and you're a little bit more heavy-handed with your sanding, you can definitely go on and scratch your glitter with the sanding. So I don't choose to do that. I always do a second coat, and then if I still feel some like maybe an area that's a little bit more rougher, then I'll smooth it out with the sanding, and I'll show you that on the second portion. But for this video, I am going to go ahead and sand, not sand, excuse me, I am going to epoxy it for a second time, and I've whipped up 20 mLs total for this second coat. It's probably a lot, but I would rather have kind of like more like a flooded coat, even though it's not a flooded coat, and just to get a really nice coverage on it. Since I'm touching it so much, I'm gonna go ahead and clean it off with alcohol so that my oils don't interfere with the epoxy. So let's clean this off really well. I will turn on my turner. And guys, if you're still watching and you haven't done so already, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't, also subscribe to our channel and check out our other tutorials on our channel. All right, use my gloves. And remember to use your gloves. I will be using my silicone brush to assist me with this. I've whipped up 20 mLs. And it's the same thing, guys. Go ahead and add this on. And then once we've laid this on, go ahead and let this dry again 3 to 4 hours, and we'll be back. See you soon. All right, guys, so we let our second coat finish drying, and take a look at this beauty. I am absolutely so upset that I'm going to cover her up, but take a look at that. This is Goblin. It's gorgeous. Okay, so if you feel your cup, it is pretty smooth. You probably have like maybe like I don't know if you can, like maybe a bump or two around. And so this is the part where it's safe to sand. And so you're gonna grab your sander. This is a 320 foam foam sponge sander. And this is the part where you're kind of like, oh my God, what are you doing? Because once you sand this down, like this shininess and this like glass light goes away, but no need to fret. Once we put another coat of epoxy, it will go back to its normal beauty, which is shiny and just like this. So before I move on to showing you what, how to sand this down and what we're looking for just to kind of smooth this out, and let me show you what we're going to be working on, or what we need in regards to supplies for this next part. So you're going to need your stencils that you're going to be placing and using to remove. You can definitely use a stencil vinyl. You can use 631 Oracle, which is the non-permanent. This is 651, and it is one that I've had around. It's a color that I don't really use, and that's typically what I use for like Peekaboo removable vinyls that I know I'm gonna just take right off. And this is just a color I don't really use often, and these are all the things that I'm more than likely going to use, and my decal for the front. And this is, I'm actually going to be removing this vinyl because I have it, I want the green to peer through as the shadow portion. So this is why I've printed this out. And this is a design, I think I've read the words somewhere, but I just designed it myself on my Cricut. And I'll have, I'm going to do my best to have that available on my website. If you guys are interested, just let me know in the comments below. Okay, always have an X-Acto knife around. You're definitely going to need your weeding tool. This is from my Cricut. Your scraper, transfer tape. And I'm going to show you how to do both parts of the peekaboo. So there are a lot of people that like to do peekaboos, and then you'll see we'll spray paint and then they want to paint it with alcohol ink. So I'm actually going to have alcohol ink displayed to you first. But I'm actually going to go one step further, and I am going to do a glitter peekaboo. So I'm going to be using Sunshine, which is a Beautiful Glitter custom mix, and this is available in our shop. And it is a custom mix that we have in our website. So again, I'm going one step further, and I'll be doing a glitter peekaboo. But I will be showing you how to do a alcohol ink peekaboo before I add my glitter. So the colors I'm going to be using is Sunset Orange, and it's Tim Holtz, and Sunshine Yellow. Okay. Always have gloves nearby. Like if you have your nails done, this stuff is pretty nasty and it will not come off. So you want to make sure that you have gloves. I have my little pool noodle jiggy thing. It's just to hold my cup in place. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It might be a little too high, I'll have to see. And I have cotton balls around. I'm very much about reduce, reuse, and recycle, and things that I don't have to spend a ton of money on, I don't. So I don't buy the swatches that Tim Holtz carries. I just use cotton balls. It does the same effect. A rag, because you're gonna need your alcohol, and I have 91% isopropyl alcohol. Your foam sanding brush, okay? So let me move all this stuff to the side. And I did say transfer tape just in case. And I buy this big roll from Expressions Vinyl, and it's a clear transfer tape 6 by 100. So it was a pretty good buy. I think it was like 10 bucks or something. Okay, so the reason why we go ahead and we want to sand this down is because once you lay your decals down, we have to spray paint this to cover it up entirely, because the only things that are going to peer through in green are going to be where you lay your decals down once we remove them, okay? So again, this entirety has to be covered with spray paint. Now, when you put spray paint down, if this surface is not smooth, you are going to see every bump and maybe every place that may have not been 100% smooth. And this is why I always say, hey, do your second coat. Maybe the first coat was smooth, but do the second coat just to be safe, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and sand this down. I still have it in my wand. I haven't removed it. It's just easier for me to move. I don't go too crazy on my sanding because I don't wanna, I don't wanna interrupt anything. I just wanna smooth out the areas that may not have been 100% down, okay? And you're supposed to be doing this anyway before your final, like if you're adding a decal, you should always be sanding this down so that you get a very smooth surface, okay? I'm gonna lay this down so I don't mess up my whiteboard here. See, I felt like there's a little area, I don't know if you can see it, if you can pick it up right there. But there was like a little tiny bump, and we wanna smooth this out because we don't want that to peer through when you put your spray paint. You want this to be as smooth as it can be. You are going to see, especially if you're doing the alcohol version of this, like where you're just painting the spray paint with alcohol ink, then you're definitely going to see every bump and raise of your epoxy if you do not smooth this out. You don't need your Dremel tool for this part. I don't, you're not using, you should have it smooth enough. And I don't really use my Dremel tool unless I'm using it for chunky glitter. I typically just do a very nice and firm hand sand. And I just make sure that I just covered. Every time you see this, like the whole sanding part, you're like, oh my God, but it takes away the prettiness. It does for 5 seconds until you put epoxy back on this and then it's back to normal. You rather do this part of it than not, and then you have a bumpy cup, and no one wants a bumpy cup. All right. Very nice. So I have a little, this is the more tedious part. Not to say that this entire design isn't tedious. It takes a good 3 days to get this type of cup completed. but it's so worth it at the end. It's so much fun. I actually had a thought to keep this, to give this cup away, but we're actually going to the beach for Memorial Day, so I think I'm gonna keep it. I told Mr. Glitterful, also known as my husband, and I said, I think I'm gonna keep this up. He's like, I already knew. He said, you said you're doing a beach themed cup. I knew you're keeping it. This is the problem about doing cups. If you fall in love with every design or every thought that you have, you're just like, I can't give this away. Okay, so I've sanded this down. I'm pretty confident, except for the bottom. I'm gonna give this a little bit more love. Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my isopropyl alcohol, and I am going to put it on my rag. I'm gonna wipe this off, and the reason why we're just wiping this off is because you don't want to have any of that your sanding particles onto the cup. You want to remove that. Guys, look at that, the way this glistens. I love it. Love it, love it. Green is my absolute favorite color, and Goblin has like completely met all my expectations for glitter. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm gonna write that down. Okay, so I'm gonna pop this up. A chair here. And I'm going to put this on, you know, anywhere. You don't need to do this. I just have this as a little stand. And I'm going to start with my center, okay? And I'm just, like, just normal, where you're adding your decals. And for those of you that are bored, I'm sorry. It's just, you have to see this entire process in order to know what you're doing. And I don't know if you guys saw, but this is a reused piece. Like, I reuse all my pieces as much as I can until it's no longer sticky. And so that's when I throw it away. Okay, and you just want to center this. Let's see. Let's see. I am put her right here. I'm going to carefully start placing her down because I have this hump right here, so it's going to make placing this decal a little bit more difficult. So I'm going to raise this part. And some people like to cut the edges. I mean, if I don't need to, I won't. The edges of the transfer tape. If I don't need to, I won't. You don't always have to do that. I like to do it this way so that I'm not having any bubbles. And I'm also not interfering with the way it's laying. So I'm okay with placing it down this way so that I don't have any bumps in between the decals. Okay guys, so now that we have all of our decals on our cup and you're happy with your design, we're going to take this outside and we're gonna spray paint it white, all right? So let's go do that. Okay guys, so I came back from outside and I have fully spray painted. You can see the decals on there. Look, I have some that's raising a little bit, that's okay. Take a look at that, okay? And so this is why you wanna make sure you have a smooth surface, because if you don't, then you're definitely gonna see bumps on the spray paint. And if you do, then you did it wrong and you're gonna have to remove the spray paint, epoxy again, sand and epoxy again to make sure you have a smooth surface, okay? So you cannot move to this point unless you have a smooth surface. Can't emphasize that enough. It's super important. Okay, so I am going to put on gloves because I don't want to mess up my nails. And I'm also going to put this rag underneath so I don't mess up my whiteboard, okay? And this is where I'm going to have the fun part. Again, I'm only doing this for you guys. Typically I would have already, you know, since I'm doing a glitter coat, I would have just either spray painted the color that closest to the glitter, or I would use a base, acrylic base to do that. But since Peekaboos are just so versatile, you can do it. And so anyways, I'm gonna show you all how to do them with how you normally see them, which is alcohol ink, okay? So I'm gonna start with my orange, and I'm gonna use a cotton ball, guys, 99-cent store cotton ball, and I'm going to put a couple of drops onto there, and I'm just going, no rhyme or reason, just gonna be blotting on there. Let's see if you move this over. I'm gonna be blotting all around, no rhyme or reason. Now you could do this in whatever color you guys want. I'm just using orange. It's called Sunset Orange. And I'm gonna be using Sunshine Yellow because my glitter is a corally, orangey color. So I need a base that closely resembles that. And as you can see, I'm kind of making splotches everywhere. I don't have any, again, no rhyme, no reason. I'm just doing it. And that's the cool thing that you can do. I've seen a lot of mermaid cups. I kind of wanted to do something different. Mermaid cups are just everywhere. So I wanted to do something that you haven't seen. I'm so in love with like the tropical palm leaves. So I just thought this was perfect. And the key here is to get the cup fully covered. And I'm just dabbing, like you can definitely do a swish if you want. I like the dabbing. I really like the effect that dabbing does, but you can do anything. I mean, it's anything. It's whatever your heart desires. Like, there, again, no wrong, no right. You're just doing. I'm gonna get the bottom there. Okay, now I'm gonna leave that to the side. And the reason why I like the alcohol, the cotton balls, guys, I can throw this away, and it doesn't hurt my heart. Anytime that I have to throw away like crafting supplies that I bought for like, you know, $7, $8, $12, it hurts. It hurts. So these things for $1, I mean, it does the same effect as those little cotton thingies. And look, your hands, they work just as good. Gotta use what God gave you, guys. So no rhyme or reason. So then this is where you would start like creating or blending. And I'm gonna try to do that. I mean, again, I'm covering this up in like 4 seconds. Once this is fully covered, I am going to cover it up with glitter. I just love the effect of a Peekaboo glitter. Like I literally cannot get over it. It's just so wonderful. Oh, I'm actually doing, that's orange. I'm gonna save that third cotton ball for my blending parts, so you can see what a blending looks like. And what I was saying before, like the little, you could do this is, you know, a swoosh, and you get kind of this kind of effect. You can, you know, I've seen that be used for Peekaboo Northern Lights. For stuff like this, like a mermaid cup, I think just the depth of what a dab does, I just prefer it. I really do. I like it so much better. Make sure my cup is in there. Keep moving it around, trying to see where the areas that I haven't done. And look, see, this is why you want to wear gloves, guys. And if you guys have watched so far up to this part, please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. I truly appreciate it. We do have a Facebook group where, you know, I love to see all the crafts done. And we showcase a lot of our glitter on there as well. We do some cool deals for our Glitterful fanatics. And the Facebook group is called Glitter Fanatics, and I'll have that link for you guys available in the description bar. Please come join us. I would love to see your crafts. I would love for you guys to be able to take advantage of those exclusive deals that we do for our group. We have a lot of people in our group that just do different types of crafts, so you guys could see like different things you could do with glitter and resin. It's really awesome. So come check us out. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you guys can see the different things that we have going on. Look, I'm gonna add some more orange. I think I went a little bit happy with yellow. I'm gonna do some more orange here, and then I'm gonna start the blending. I don't think I'm gonna actually use that third cotton pool. I'm just gonna use the cotton pools that I have. And remember guys, you wanna make sure that you have good coverage. Like if you're just doing the alcohol inks, you don't wanna leave areas where there's a little bit of white. You just wanna make sure that you're getting that ink in, because if this is it, then it needs to be covered. And you'll be able to you'll be able to not see any white. You just want to see the color, and so that when your stuff peers through your glitter underneath, you'll be able to, you'll see it really nicely. So, and that's how I'm just doing blending, guys. Like, please don't overthink this. This is art, so just make it your own. Make it your own. Like I said, I've seen too many of these mermaid cups. I love them, but do something different. Make it your own. If you're gonna do a mermaid cup, make it your own. The fish scales can be found on Etsy. I know Design Space has them as well. I use Cricut, so I get mine. I would love, love, love. I think my next Peekaboo is gonna be a leopard rainbow. I think that would be so cool. I'm kind of sad I'm gonna put glitter on this, but I'm so excited for this sunshine mix that I can't help myself. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use that yellow again because I have some spots right there that are just I would assume that you can also do like acrylic, like paint acrylic paint over this. Oh man, I didn't just thought about that. That's so cool too. You don't have to use alcohol ink. I mean, you don't have to use anything. You can actually paint like black. You can put a spray paint. You could do an acrylic paint right over this. I just really love the way like when you do the alcohol inks, like you're able to do like the blending of it. And you would definitely work your way to do a little bit better at the blending part of it. Again, I am gonna be doing the glitter, so sorry guys, but you get the drift. And I'm gonna go ahead and cover my bottom here so that it has a base. Some of these areas where it's a little bit more jagged and just use my cotton, as you can see. Smooth that out a little bit so it's not so and I don't think I've said this enough, but this is why you want to make sure that your cup is smooth, because if it's not, then this stuff won't look as pretty. It really won't. You won't get this beautiful effect that you're trying to accomplish, because it is it's just gonna be stuck. Like it's gonna be bumpy and gross, and that's not what you want. All right, so if you're doing alcohol inks, that's what you do. Do as many colors as you want, blend as well as you want, but this is the effect that you get without removing the, without having removed the stencils. So let's go ahead and do that now. This is where you're gonna need your weeding tool. And you wanna be, let me take my gloves off. Okay, so you want to be careful, because when you start removing your stencil, you tend to be a little bit rough, so don't be. And best bet is to kind of start from the middle, and if you can already see, like, look, you go like that and you start to remove the spray paint and the paint. So if you do that on the edge where you don't want your color underneath to peer through, then you're gonna be upset with yourself, because there's no way to fix that. So be very gentle. And mine is gonna be a little bit more difficult to take off because I use 651, and this particular color is really sticky. I use my hands, guys. The alcohol inks, they dry really quickly, so I'm okay. Look at that. And when you first see it done, you're like, that doesn't look nice. That doesn't look nice. But once you start taking your pieces off, it starts to come together, and you're like, oh, okay, I see it. I see what's going on. Look at that. You gotta trust yourselves. You gotta trust yourselves. I had this vision, and my husband, I tell him like what I plan on doing sometimes, and he's like, I don't see it. Like, what are you talking about? I don't, And I'm like, just sit down and you'll see what I'm talking about. this lifted right here a little bit. That's okay. Just press that back down. I don't know if you guys got to see that, but this little, oh, look at that. Look, it lifted completely with my hand. Oh, no, no. If it does that, just try to press it down. I mean, no big deal. It's a leaf. This is why you have to be really careful. I was a little bit too hard in that area. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Look at that, look at that. And try not to touch it with your bare hands because, again, you're going to lay epoxy over this and you do not want... I'm just going to take that out. It doesn't matter. Take a look at that. You can't even tell. It's okay. And you keep removing. You gotta fight with it for 4 seconds. And once you get a nice lift, use your fingers. Use your fingers, use your tweezers, whatever you like. I only use tweezers if I'm having like really small, like a really small area that I'm working on. Like typically if I've done mermaid cups before where I put bubbles and starfish and they're a little bit smaller. And that's when I'll use my tweezers, but not for big things like this. There's no need. I'm actually so upset, guys, that I'm gonna be covering this, but I really wanted to show you all how to do it. Oh, goodness gracious. I was supposed to do the glitter part of it. Lord. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. All right, I'm gonna take this decal off, and I completely forgot that I'm going to be doing glitter over this. Ha! That was a fail. No big deal. I'm still gonna do it. Sorry. I'm not gonna take out any more decals, but bam, guys, take a look at that. That's what I want. I'm contemplating here if I'm gonna put no, I'm not. I'm not even gonna chance it. What I am going to do is I'm just gonna be careful in this area where I'm gonna put Mod Podge. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a tiny brush so that I have more control in that area when I'm there. I'm gonna grab that. Oh, what a bummer. I'm so upset with myself. But I was so excited to show you guys all. Bam. Okay. So now that I caught myself only 2 stencils in, I'm going to pour my Mod Podge. That was a lot of Mod Podge. You don't need that much. And I'm going to grab a piece of paper so that I can get all my glitter that may fall. I'm gonna get my brush. Nothing fancy, guys. This is a 1-inch. Whoop. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna mix up Sunshine. And again, this is a Beautiful Glitter custom mix, so you can't find this anywhere, only at Glitterful. I'm gonna bring this to a tilt. Look at that. I'm gonna tilt her because clearly I'm not kidding. And I'm bringing her down because I was doing it side to side before, and I wasn't getting the best coverage and I was just wasting so much time. So I'm gonna go. Look at that. So beautiful. We'll have to clean that off, but give me a second. Okay, studio. So I'll grab my heat gun if I'm like on times I need to hurry this up, and I will set my heat gun up and I will just move it around and around so that I can dry this as fast as I can. Look at the way this cup shines. I can't get over it. Shift you guys all because my light died, as I said before. So here's the tricky part. Let's go ahead and find our decals, and that's going to be a little bit more difficult because we have glitter on there. So let's see. Let's clean this off. I can't wait to clean this off. It's amazing. All right, right here I have one. And reminder that you want to start in the middle. Okay guys, so I have finished taking off all my decals and my second light is dying, so I'm really sorry about that. But take a look. This is what you want your finished cup to look like. And what I'm going to go ahead and do, because we have used glitter, I am going to seal this twice with triple thick or clear acrylics. Geez, I can't speak today. Clear acrylic paint, not paint, spray adhesive. Jeez, I'm sorry guys. And then we're gonna get this ready for epoxy. So let me go ahead and do that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so we are gonna go ahead and get to our final piece of this, which is to epoxy the entire cup. I've whipped up 30 ml total of epoxy, and I have it again on my silicone mat, which obviously you guys can see I haven't cleaned off. And so I'm going to use my silicone brush, and again that's available on our site if you guys are interested. And very gently I'm gonna go ahead and move the epoxy around. Want to get it very nice and evenly coated all around. I did 30 mLs again total of epoxy. I just wanted it to be nicely covered, so I'm okay with it being a lot. I cannot tell you guys how in love I am with this cup. Like all of it from start to finish. It's amazing. For those of you that have fast forwarded, the colors that I used, again, the base was Goblin from our Glitterful Glitter selection. I'm having so much trouble speaking. And then the top coat I used, of glitter, I used Sunshine, which is a Glitterful custom mix. So GG custom mix, and can be all found on our website, which I have on the description link below, and that's glitterful.com. And oh, and I used for the alcohol ink portion of this, which I just wanted to do for you guys that just want to do alcohol ink Peekaboo, I use Sunset Orange, I believe. Yes, Sunset Orange from Holtz. and I used yellow, Sunshine, yes, Sunshine from Tim Holtz as well. And I'll have that as well posted under the materials used in this project in the description link. And as you can see, I just take my time with moving the epoxy around. And I'm actually not done with this. I am going to have a decal added to that part where it says sunrise, sunburn, sunset, and repeat. I'm gonna have a decal that goes right in the center of that. So that's actually working as kind of like a knockout. So you can, the green will peer through. Really excited about this cup. And I will have this set available on our website as well, this SVGs, so that you guys can go ahead and get it as well. So if you want to recreate this cup, which I so encourage you to, and if you do, please share with it on our Glitterful Glitter Fanatics group. I would love to see your version of this cup or any other cups that you guys do. Please join, and I love to see all the crafts that everyone comes up with. It's amazing. All right, I'm just finishing off by adding epoxy on this, and we're gonna let this bad boy spin again. Normal time frame, guys, nothing crazy. 4 to 6 hours. Let her spin, let her do her thing. Don't rush the process. After she's done, she will probably need a second coat just to get her really nice and smooth. Don't sand down anything yet after this one coat, because you don't want to ever sand prior to your second coat. That way you don't hit your glitter at all, okay? Don't take that chance. You're going to be very upset if you scratch your glitter by sanding down too early. So definitely let this do its thing. Add a second coat to this, and I can't wait to show you guys the finished product. But thank you so much for joining me, Stephanie with Glitterful. Remember to please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to our channel. And again, join us on Facebook. That's Glitterful Glitter Fanatics. I can't wait to see you all again. You all have a glitterful day. Bye.